students, now we can study about the prostate gland. It's a part of male reproductive system. So this is the prostate gland. Here we can see this is the urinary bladder. Here comes the prostate. So these are the seminal vesicles we already studied. These are part of our vas deferens, which forms ejaculatory duct here. And this one we can see a triangular shaped structure. The inverted pyramidal shape structure. This is the prostate gland. So prostate gland is an accessory gland of male reproductive system. The secretion of this gland will add bulk to the seminal fluid. The prostate gland is formed and because of presence of dense fibrous tissue. So it is made up of mainly by the dense fibrous tissue. So it is formed in structure, and it is situated in the lesser pelvis. Inside the lesser pelvis, below the neck of the urinary bladder. So this is the urinary bladder, and here this section you can see. This is the urinary bladder, and here comes the neck of the urinary bladder. So it lies below this is our prostate gland. This one. Okay. So it lies below the neck of the urinary bladder, within the lesser pelvis, and behind the lower part of the pubic symphysis. So this is our pubic symphysis. You can see. So behind the lower part, this is the lower part. So behind the lower part of the pubic symphysis. Lower part. This is the lower part. So behind the lower part of the pubic symphysis, in front of the rectum. So this is the rectum. Here we can see this is the in front. This is the ampulla of the rectum. So it lies posterior. In front of the rectum, lies in front of the rectum. So that is the location. So this is the prostate gland, lies below the neck of the urinary bladder, posterior to the lower part of the pubic symphysis, then anterior to rectum. So anteriorly we can see pubic symphysis, posteriorly we can see the rectum. Okay. Then that is the location. Then size, shape and weight. It resembles an inverted conical shape. Inverted cone. So it resembles an inverted cone. So it resembles an inverted cone. Inverted cone. It measures about a transverse diameter. So the transverse diameter is about 4 centimeter. Yes, a transverse diameter is about 4 centimeter, but it has a length of about 3.5 centimeter. Yeah. So that's 3 centimeter, not 3.5, 3 centimeter. So width will be larger than the height. Okay. So the 4 centimeter diameter and length will be 3 centimeter, and it has a thickness of about 2 centimeter and weighs about 8 gram. So it is 8 gram in weight. 8 gram. Okay. That is the size, shape and weight of the prostate gland. Okay. Then comes to the features, gross features. So the apex, the prostate gland has an apex which is directed downward. So it is an inverted cone. So it has an apex which is directed downward, and this base which is seen near to the neck of the urinary bladder. Base and apex. Okay. And it has 4 surfaces. There is an anterior surface. This is posterior surface. Yeah. There is an anterior surface, posterior surface, and it has 2 lateral surfaces. Okay. Lateral surfaces either side. Infrolateral surface. Okay. So this is posterior surface. So it has an anterior surface, a posterior surface, and 2 infrolateral surfaces. Okay. Then coming to the apex. So this is the apex which is directed downward, and it is surrounded by the it surrounds the junction of prostatic and here we can see this is the apical part. So it lies at the junction of the prostatic urethra and the membranous urethra, junction between the membranous urethra and prostatic urethra here. So this is the apex. Okay. Then comes the base. Base is directed upward. This is the base. Base is directed upwards and structurally it continues with the neck of the urinary bladder. So this is the neck of the urinary bladder. So it is continuous with the neck of the urinary bladder and surfaces. This is the anterior surface. Anterior surface is narrow and it is convex and it lies 2 centimeter behind the pubic symphysis. This is pubic symphysis. So it lies 2 centimeter behind the pubic symphysis. Between the pubic symphysis and the anterior surface, you can see there is retro fat can be seen. Retropubic fat. This is the retropubic fat can be seen between the prostate and the pubic symphysis. And towards the lower part of the cell. Towards the lower part of the anterior surface is pierced by the prostatic urethra. So, in the lower part of the anterior surface, so this is the anterior surface, up to here is the anterior surface. So, anterior surface, lower part it is pierced by the urethra, prostatic urethra, this one, prostatic urethra. And in the upper part, the anterior surface is connected to the pubic symphysis by puboprostatic ligament. Puboprostatic ligaments. That is the anterior surface. Then comes the posterior surface. Posterior surface already seen here. It is triangular in shape, posterior surface, and it is flattened from side to side and convex from above downwards. Okay. And it is separated from the rectum by, this is the here we can see this is the rectum. So the posterior surface is separated from the rectum by a fascia which is known as fascia of Denonville. This one, fascia of Denonville. So it is, here we can see a fascia, this one, fascia, white color, this line. So this is fascia of Denonville. So it is a remnant, it is a part of the rectovesical pouch. Here we can see the rectovesical pouch. So from the rectovesical pouch there is a ligament extending downward. This is known as fascia of Denonville. So this fascia of Denonville separates the prostate from the rectum. Prostate from the rectum. And this posterior surface lies 4 centimeter from the rectum, from the surface of the anus. So it lies 4 centimeter from the surface of the anus from here. So per rectal examination we can feel the surface of the posterior surface of the prostate gland. Then comes the infralateral surface. These two are the infralateral surface. So this is actually the sagittal section. So here frontal section. This is frontal section, and here we can see the to either side of, we can see the infralateral surface. These are the infralateral surfaces, and both surfaces are related to the lateral wall of the pelvis. Here we can see lateral wall of the pelvis. It is related to the lateral wall of the pelvis, and we can see it is related to the pelvic diaphragm. These are the pelvic diaphragm muscles which forms the pelvic diaphragm. This is the levator ani muscle, levator ani. So either side it is related to, infralateral surfaces are related to the levator ani muscle. And in between the infralateral surface capsule, within the capsule we can see the veins, venous plexus also is there on either side. Venous plexus, prostatic venous plexus can be seen. So these are the surfaces of the prostate gland. Prostate gland has an apex and a base. Then there is an anterior surface, posterior surface, two infralateral surfaces. So these are the gross features. Then coming to the zones of the prostate, different zones. So according to the scientist, that is McNean, the gland is divided into, there is an outer peripheral zone. In this diagram we can see This is a section showing the different zones of the prostate. This is prostate gland. Here we can see this is the prostatic urethra. Okay. And this is section of the prostate gland. Here we can see, according to the McNeil, the gland is divided into a peripheral zone. This is the peripheral zone which is seen towards the posterior aspect. This is posterior, this is anterior part. So a peripheral zone, so a small zone can be seen. It is seen towards the posterior surface near the posterior part of the gland. So this is known as peripheral zone. And there is another zone, which this zone is formed by the glandular tissue. So 70% of glandular tissue can be seen in the peripheral zone. Okay. Then another zone is the central zone. This is the central zone, which is comprises of 25% of the glandular tissue. Then it is situated posterior to the urethra. This is urethra, so it is situated posterior to the urethra and above the ejaculatory duct. This is the ejaculatory duct. So above the ejaculatory duct. Yeah. This is the central zone. And another zone can be seen that is known as periurethral zone or periurethral transition zone. So this is the urethra. So surrounding the urethra we can see a small area. This is the periurethral zone or transition zone. And there is an anterior part which is formed by only the fibromuscular tissue. There is no glandular tissue here. So this anterior zone. So these are the zonal division according to McNeil. Then structurally the prostate is divided into lobes. Earlier the prostate gland was divided into five lobes, but now, as of now, the recent classification division, the prostate gland, this is cross section of the prostate gland. The prostate gland has 3 lobes. Yeah. There is one median lobe. There is median lobe and 2 lateral lobes. Median lobe, glandular tissue. Okay, the part which is having the glandular tissue, glands. So that part, it is 1 to 3. There is a median lobe, and on either side there are 2 lateral lobes. Which contains glandular tissue. We can see the anterior part, it is devoid of glandular tissue. Only fibromuscular stroma can be seen here anteriorly. Okay. Then the capsule of the prostate gland. The prostate gland has 2 capsules. There is a false capsule and a true capsule. The false capsule, it is derived from the endopelvic fascia. Pelvic fascia. Okay. So outer there will be a false capsule which is derived from the pelvic fascia. Okay. Then inner there is a fibrous capsule. Fibrous capsule which is formed by the condensation of the stroma. Fibrous capsule. So between the false capsule and the true capsule there will be venous plexus. Veins can be seen. Prostatic venous plexus can be seen between the 2 capsules. Then comes to the structure of the prostate. The structure of the prostate, that structures. So the structural zones of the prostate. Here there is this diagram, you can see the structural zones of the horizontal section of the prostate gland again. Here we can see there are 2 zones. There is an outer larger zone which is having a more glandular tissue and ducts. And there is an inner smaller zone which also has a small amount of glandular tissue with the small ducts. So outer zone and inner zones are there. Both zones are separated by an ill-defined capsule. This outer zone, this is the zone which is frequent site of the carcinoma, which contains a more glandular tissue, this part. So posterior part, mainly in the posterior part. Okay, it's a site for the carcinoma. Then the structures passing through the prostate gland. The structures passing through the gland, here we can see the main structure is our urethra, prostatic urethra. So the prostatic urethra passes through the gland from the base to the apex, the junction between the anterior 1/3 and posterior 2/3. Okay, junction between anterior 1/3 and posterior 2/3, the urethra passes through the gland. Okay. Then second structure is the prostatic utricle. We can see the utricle can be seen within the gland itself. It is a small sac-like structure seen within the prostate gland. This is known as prostatic utricle. Prostatic utricle. It is a blind sac. Then on either side of the prostatic utricle we can see two ejaculatory duct. Ejaculatory duct opens, passes through the gland and opens into the central part. So this is the section we can see this here. Here this is the opening of the utricle, and on either side below the opening of utricle, on either side below we can see the opening of the ejaculatory duct inside the urethra. This is the urethra. All these structures opens into the urethra. Then ligaments, there are two medial puboprostatic ligaments and two lateral puboprostatic ligaments. So the medial puboprostatic ligaments lies near the apex. It lies near the apex and it connects the apex to the pubic symphysis. So that is medial puboprostatic ligaments, and near to the base also we can see two lateral puboprostatic ligaments. So these are the two ligaments in connection with the prostate gland. Then coming to the blood supply of prostate gland. Prostate gland is mainly supplied by the inferior vesical, middle rectal and internal pudendal arteries, and blood venous drainage. Veins from the prostate glands forms plexus between the two capsules or true capsules, then finally drains into the vesical plexus, finally drains into the internal pudendal vein and to the internal iliac veins. So there will be a communication between the veins of the prostate and to the vertebral venous system. There is a communication between valvulus communication between the vertebral plexus of veins and the prostatic veins. And lymphatic drainage mainly drains into the internal iliac and sacral lymph nodes, and not partly into the external iliac lymph nodes. The nerve supply, it is supplied by sympathetic and parasympathetic, mainly by the inferior hypogastric plexus, and arises from the lower three lumbar and upper sacral segments. Okay, so it is supplied by both sympathetic and parasympathetic. Then coming to the age changes of prostate. So prostate, there will be structural difference according to the age. Okay. So first is at birth. At birth, the prostate is small in size and it is made up of only stroma and a simple duct system. Okay. And only one simple duct can be seen. Then, and there is the 6th week after birth. After birth, the epithelium of the duct will proliferate, and little growth will be there in the glandular tissue because of the estrogen from the mother. Okay. Then after that there is no changes till puberty, and when it reaches the puberty, because of the male hormones, there will be a rapid change in the prostate gland. Then the gland become double in size within 1 year after the puberty. Okay. Then from 20th to 30 years, from 20 to 30 year, there will be a marked proliferation of the glandular tissue. Okay. The glandular tissue will be highly developed, and there will be condensation of the stroma and reduction of the stroma. Okay. And the epithelium will be foldings will be there in the epithelium and making the lumen irregular. Okay. And from the 30th to 45 years, the prostate remains constant. There won't be any changes in the structure. Then after 45 age, that is 45 to 50 years, the prostate undergo mainly two changes. Okay. Either it will be enlarged or which forms the benign hypertrophy, or it reduces in size, called senile atrophy. It undergo atrophy. So two changes can be seen. Either it will be undergo hypertrophy, that is enlargement, or it will reduce its size, that is atrophy. Okay. So both can occur. Then these are the age changes of the prostate gland. In histology of the prostate gland, if we are taking cross section of the gland, we can see the glandular tissue which is lined with epithelium, and inside the gland in the lumen we can see the structure that is known as corpora amylaceae or amyloid body. Amyloid body can be seen, and in between the glands we can see smooth muscle fibers and fibrous tissue and smooth muscle fibers can be seen. So glandular part is there, fibrous part is there, fibromuscular part is there. We are taking the histology of the prostate. Then coming to the applied anatomy. So here we can see the urinary bladder. This is the posterior part and anterior part. So anterior region, posterior part, which is main site of occurrence of the carcinoma. So here we can see prostatic carcinoma. And anteriorly usually benign hyperplasia can be seen, benign growth. And the inflammation of the prostate is known as prostatitis. And the by digital examination through the rectum, we can feel the posterior aspect of the prostate gland. And if there is any enlargement of the prostate gland can be removed. That process is known as prostatectomy. So during the prostatectomy, we will retain the capsules. Of the prostate gland. So during prostatectomy, we will retain both capsule, false capsule and true capsules, because in between the two capsules we can see the blood vessel, that is venous plexus can be seen. So in order to save that plexus without any disturbance, we will retain the capsule and we will remove the only glandular part of the prostate. Okay, so that procedure is known as prostatectomy. Okay. So these are the applied aspect of the prostate gland. So that's all about the prostate gland.